The production of Stranger Things has revealed many behind-the-scenes videos. In them we can see how they filmed several scenes of Season 5. Today on Charlietales, we will analyze this material, and I will tell you the tricks that the production used to achieve the incredible scenes of the series. Ready? Let's begin. Let's begin with the WSQK radio station. This was not a real location, but they had to build it out of wood. In this video we can see its construction. The appearance of the radio station is based on a radio the Duffer brothers knew when they were children. In this photo we can see what the original radio station looked like, which was in North Carolina. As everyone knows, episode 1 shows us Jonathan and Steve competing to climb a radio tower. As we can notice in this behind-the-scenes video, the metal structure did exist, but it was never at a great height. The production used blue screens in the background to give the illusion of being in the sky. If we pay attention, we will notice that the original actors performed this scene without the need for stunt doubles, but they were protected by cables that lifted them from above. To finish, we can see how the actors had a lot of fun. Here they are, even imitating a scene from Titanic. We move on to the scenes of 11 training. As we can notice, the actress Millie Bobby Brown did most of the scenes herself, but helped by cables for stabilization and safety. However, for other scenes, they used a stunt double. Who would be this woman here? In fact, if we pay attention, this double looks a lot like the woman the military captured instead of 11. Only for the scene they put her in different clothes. Here we have the scene in which Dustin fights against the school bullies. Thanks to the behind-the-scenes footage, we can see the moment from other angles. As we can notice, the actor Gaten Matarazzo did the scene himself, without a double. There is even video of how they rehearsed before the day of filming. This is interesting because we must remember that the actor suffers from a very particular medical condition. It is called cleidocranial dysplasia, which affects the bones of the skull and the collarbone. That is why he can dislocate his collarbones at will, but this condition also hinders him in performing sudden movements. Despite that, he did this action scene wonderfully. Here we have the Demogorgon attack on the Wheeler house. There is behind-the-scenes footage of how they filmed the bathtub scene. As we can notice, the actresses really had to film underwater. According to the actress who plays Holly, this scene took a week between rehearsing and filming. We also have a glimpse of the attack that Mr. Wheeler suffered. As we can notice, the actor is sent flying and breaks through a fake wall. In addition, he is lifted thanks to safety cables. Of course, this person who goes flying is not the real actor of Ted Wheeler, but a stunt double. When he gets up, we can notice he does not have the same face as Mr. Wheeler. In these videos, we can see in more detail how Mrs. Wheeler faced the Demogorgon. To achieve the scene, the production placed a cushion made of resistant material. This way, the actress could stab it with force. As we can notice, the cuts look real. The cushion suffered a lot from the actress's blows. Here we have a small video of how they filmed Max in a coma. The actress Sadie Sink revealed a funny detail about it. According to her, they filmed all the scenes in the bed in a single day, so she spent many hours lying down without moving. Because of this, she ended up falling asleep several times while the other actors talked around her. With this context, every time you see a scene of Max in a coma, think that maybe she was asleep and the camera kept rolling. We also have this small video of when the Demogorgon almost took Holly away. As we can notice, the actress was lifted with cables from her feet. A production member on the right is the one pulling the cables. And of course, if we change the angle, we will notice that everything above the actress is a blue screen to add the special effects of the portal. In these scenes, we can see how they filmed the moment between Henry and Holly. Something very interesting is revealed by the costume designer. She says that Henry wears a brown suit because of his memories with Dr. Brenner. When Brenner visited the children, he wore this color in his clothes, and in this way, he appeared friendly to the infants. That is why Henry uses the same color. On a subconscious level, he imitates Brenner's style to get close to Holly. Now we have videos of how they filmed Hopper and Eleven's mission in the Upside Down. As we can notice, they filmed in a real location. This is a forest, but they covered it with many blue screens to create the illusion of the Upside Down. Of course, the big strange wall of the season did not exist either. Everything was CGI, or at least almost everything. In this small frame, we can see a tiny piece of the wall. I suppose it is to guide the actors. We can also see that several times the soldiers are sent flying, and to achieve the effect they are helped with cables. We move on to the scenes of the attack on the Demogorgon. The most interesting thing is seeing the actor who plays the monster. He is J.D. Garcia, and he tells us about the process. He wore a somewhat ridiculous suit and had to perform all of the Demogorgon's movements. This way the production used his body as a guide to add the special effects. Now we are in the epic scene of Steve's car. This was filmed in several locations. One part was filmed in real streets for the wider shots of the car. That is, the ones where the actors' faces are not visible. But the closer shots were filmed on a set, with a car that never moved, and a special background with videos. This basically showed the road in motion. In this other scene, we see that the actors have a blue screen behind them. Here they use the color blue, because this is the scene when the protagonists have already entered the Upside Down. I can assure it, because they are all celebrating. So the blue background was used to place the portal closing behind them. Now we are in the final battle of episode 4. As we can notice, it is a huge set with blue walls. According to the production, it was the most difficult sequence of the season because it involved many practical effects, CGI for the Demogorgon, and choreographing many actors at once. One of the greatest difficulties lay in the fact that there were children in the scene, therefore the shooting time was limited. They cannot work full-time days due to US laws, so the production had to adapt to that. As we can notice once again, they used cables for the characters who are sent flying by explosions. Over here we have the portal from the final scene. The actor Noah Schnapp tells us how everything is done with a blue screen. Then in post-production, this was replaced with the portal and Vecna coming out of it. Let's talk about Vecna. For his creation, they used a lot of CGI. However, the base of the character is pure makeup. In this video, we can see how they are placing the prosthetics on the actor. Then with CGI, they added the outer vines. As we can see, the suit has several small circles. This was so that the CGI could follow the body in motion. An extra detail can be seen in this funny photo. Here we can notice how Vecna was wearing shoes, which were later erased with CGI. To finish, we have the scene in which Will awakened his powers. As we can notice, there were no major effects for the scene. Everything relied on Noah Schnapp's acting. If we pay attention to his eyes, we will notice he is wearing contact lenses to give that strange appearance. This is interesting because we might initially think they would use CGI for these eyes, but no, they were practical effects. And before I leave, I want to talk to you about the scene from Will's past in the Upside Down. I've already mentioned this in previous videos, but new photos have surfaced. To bring back the child version of Will, they had to bring in a new child. Then they placed Noah Schnapp's face on his head. Here we can see both actors. If we look closely, the child has dots on his face. These are so that the effects work better. That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.